Hello, Detv.
Today is Friday, April 10th, 2020. We hope everybody's staying safe out there.
Detv at Home Edition begins right now. With the school closed, how will the end of the year tasks get done?
And this week marks the United States' entry into the war to end all wars.
And Bradley Down shows us how to cook a classic breakfast favorite at home.
All that and more is coming up on today's edition of DETV at Home.
Hello, DE. I am Peggy Carlos.
And I'm James Beaumont. Welcome back to another episode of DETV at Home.
Let's get started with some school and district news. Due to the statewide closure of schools, there have been a lot of questions regarding things that happen at the end of a typical school year. Desert Edge administration is looking into a day to access the campus sometime in May to be able to address end of the school year tasks. If federal and state guidelines allow for entry to the school building in May, administration tentatively plans a day for students to have the opportunity to pick up Johnston's cap and gowns, turn in Chromebooks and athletic uniforms, prom refunds, and collection of personal items at school such as locker rooms, bookstore debts, band instruments, textbook and library book returns, yearbook distribution, senior awards night, and fundraiser items. Be sure to keep an eye out for a future email regarding the date of which these tasks will be addressed.
The Agua Fria District has distributed and posted a video regarding the online grading policy explaining how students will be graded moving forward. Viewing the video is vital for students and parents. The breakdown is as follows. Students must complete 50% of the daily essential questions and earn a passing grade on their culminating activity for every assigned class in order to receive the highest letter grade earned from third or fourth quarter. Students who do not meet these standards will receive an incomplete and will be denied graduation credit. Receiving an incomplete means a student has not fulfilled the district online instruction expectations and will have to make up the class for credit via summer school or an online credit recovery platform. According to the district, seniors who do not meet these standards will not graduate in May.
While practicing self-isolation, technology has become essential for staying connected. Whether it's for school, work, or just hanging out virtually with friends, technology like Google Meet, Zoom, Skype, and other platforms are helping keep people connected. And Andrew Caldwell is using this technology to interview people from the DE community. Let's see who he is talking to today.
I'm Andrew Caldwell with DETV, and I would like to thank Ms. Rierig for coming onto the show. Ms. Rierig, I understand that you are known around the school as a powerlifter. How do you manage to keep in shape with all of these gyms closed around the state? I can imagine it would be likely very stressful for someone such as yourself, especially if you do not have many weights or workout machines at home to use.
Yeah, it's extremely stressful because a lot of us use the gym as a way to relieve stress and kind of work on ourselves and get our mental stability in the right place. So it's definitely a challenge, but the big thing is diet and doing what you can when you can. So it might mean doing at-home exercises. It might be going for a walk. It might be swimming in a pool if you have a pool. Whatever you got to do.
Second, do you have a particular workout that you practice at home during this time? For example, sit-ups, pull-ups, etc.?
Yeah, so we follow a weekly routine where we do a different area of the body every single day. And my favorite is chest. So which is what I compete in, which is bench press. So in order to do that, you can do that with several different things. The best investment I ever made was X bands, and they're resistance bands. So you can pretty much do any exercise that you can do in the gym with a resistance band. Sometimes takes a little rigging of things, but you can get it done. So like, for example, I'll lay on the floor and I'll put the band behind my back and then kind of make a cup with my hands and just push up. And that gives you the same sort of feeling and workout as a chest press. And we just kind of, whatever movement you would do in the gym, you just are trying to replicate that in some sort of home workout, whether it be with bands or weights, or maybe you pick up your children or whatever the case might be.
Finally, do you have any advice for students or other teachers who maybe wanted to get more in shape during the times of quarantine?
So the first thing is don't go crazy with your food. Those calories are still there. They don't become zero just because we're stuck up in the house. Enjoy yourself. Eat a Snicker bar or whatever it is that you like every once in a while. But find a diet, whether it be working with a coach. Coaches are still working. You don't have to be one-on-one in person to work with a coach. Hire yourself a coach or go online. There's tons and tons of free resources right now that are 100% free. There's some great Instagram models that are doing free workouts that provide you with a meal plan, a workout plan, and all things you can do at home with little to no things to purchase, because right now it's insane to buy anything home workout. It's all sold out. But find a diet that works for you or some sort of situation that you can use, and then obviously do whatever you can. Go on walks, run, get your bike and make it stationary. We like to do switch, Just Dance with my kids, burns calories, it's good. And then as far as, just other stuff, seniors, we are sorry, our hearts go out to you. It is a crazy time and we feel horrible for you, but just know that it's all right and we'll make it through. And it'll just be another strange story we get to tell when you're adults. And everybody else, my students, my ninth graders, I love and miss you all. And lastly, don't suffer alone. If you are sad, if you are angry, if you are depressed, if you feel alone, reach out to someone. We're all here. We're all in this together. It's not just happening to you or me. It's happening to all of us.
Definitely. I would once again like to thank you, Ms. Rurik, for coming onto the show. I very much appreciate it.
No problem.
Is there anything you'd like to say to your students or anybody that's watching as well, other than what has already been spoken?
Nothing else really, just, miss you all, staff and admin and everyone alike. I miss you all. I miss seeing your faces in the hallway, and I hope that you're all doing well and figuring out a way to enjoy this time. Pardon my dogs and kids in the background.
That's all right. That's quite all right. With DETV, I'm Andrew Caldwell. Back to you guys at home.
Thanks for that, Andrew. And if you've seen an interesting story to tell Andrew, we'd love to hear from you. Connect with us by emailing us at detv2012@gmail.com. Moving on, we've all seen how healthcare workers are on the front lines of fighting COVID-19, and one DE student who has dedicated her career to saving lives is also doing her part. Andre and Dulce Duarte spent some time with DE student and EMT Brianna Hawthorne.
Most teenagers have a regular job, but Brianna Hawthorne has a job with a matter of life or death.
I wanted to become an EMT since I was a little kid, ever since I could remember, basically.
It took Brianna Hawthorne a couple of months to become an EMT, but it came with many challenges.
I balanced EMT school, regular high school, and life in general, just by doing it, not procrastinating since I was passionate about it. I didn't put it off, I just did it.
Brianna shares her advice for teenagers who don't believe they can achieve their goals.
My advice is just to go and do it, and if you fail, and try again. And it's okay to fail, because I failed too sometimes.
She shares one of her favorite experiences while working as a registered EMT.
My favorite experience seeing in the emergency room and trauma is an open thoracotomy, where they crack your chest open, they cut it open, and they massage the heart.
Despite the virus going on, Brianna still continues to work at the hospital saving lives.
I'm cooler than everyone at Desert Edge because I can save lives.
Now it's time to get updated on what's been happening in the world. Our news anchor, Celeste Olivas, has been checking the news feeds for the latest stories. What have you found, Celeste?
Thanks, guys. I've been doing my best to find the latest national and international stories. Today we have coronavirus updates, a predicted major recession on the way, and Japan declaring a state of emergency. COVID-19 has infected more than 1.43 million people and killed over 82,000 worldwide as of Tuesday. U.S. cases are nearing 400,000. The death toll is at least 12,900 after the country recorded the most new virus deaths added in a single day. JP Morgan Chase CEO Jamie Dimon used his annual shareholder letter to detail just how bad he thinks the U.S. economy can get from the coronavirus pandemic. Dimon expects a bad recession, he wrote in the letter released Monday, saying that in the most adverse scenario, gross domestic product could plunge at 35% annual rate in the second quarter, and that a downturn will last through the rest of the year. The unemployment rate would spike as high as 14% in this environment. Much of Japan had entered a state of emergency Tuesday as the country struggles to rein in the coronavirus pandemic months after the first domestic cases were reported. Prime Minister Shinzo Abe said that the basic economic activity will continue in Tokyo, Kanagawa, Saitama, Chiba, Osaka, Hyogo, and Fukuoka, the 7 affected prefectures, with public transport and supermarkets remaining open, but urged people to exercise social distancing and avoid unnecessary trips. That's all I have for you guys today. Back to you guys.
Thanks for that, Celeste. When we come back, we will have some suggestions for a classic video game remake and a comedy movie to keep you laughing during your self-isolation.
And Bradley Downs will teach us how to make a breakfast classic.
DETV will be right back. Welcome back.
COVID-19 dominates the news right now, but 103 years ago, the news was reporting the U.S. involvement in World War I.
Vaughn Hopich has more. Vaughn?
Welcome to This Week in History. Today we look to this Monday in the U.S. intervention in World War I. World War I, or the Great War, had been raging between the Allied and Central Powers for years. The UK, France, and Russia had been fighting with Austria-Hungary, Germany, and the Ottoman Empire since the assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand of Austria. Remaining neutral for most of the war, the United States was supplying the UK with weapons. In response, the Germans began to target and sink U.S. supply ships. The last straw came when the U.S. intercepted a telegram from Germany asking Mexico to attack the United States to prevent the United States from entering the war in Europe. Shortly after, the United States entered the war effort and ultimately turned the tide of the war. That's all for This Week in History. Back to you.
Thanks for that, Vaughn. Keeping busy during self-isolation can be hard. DETV's Hayden Ramos is here to talk about staying entertained a little easier by reviewing some of the hottest video games on the market.
In the real world, the COVID-19 virus is affecting all of our lives, but back in 1999, the third installment of the Resident Evil franchise introduced us to the T-virus. Resident Evil Nemisis is a survival horror game originally released for the PlayStation in 1999, but it's been remade for the most recent consoles. Jill Valentine, a STARS operative in Raccoon City, attempts to escape Raccoon City and stop the Umbrella Corporation's creation of the T-virus. If you thought the virus is bad, Umbrella Corporation's Nemesis is worse. The monster follows you throughout the game. On the good side, critics have praised the game for its great graphics and great gameplay. On the downside, critics criticized the game for being short and slow-paced. In the end, the game scored really well, with the Digital Fix giving it 100 out of 100, Atomics giving it 95 out of 100, and GameStar giving it 84 out of 100, ending with an average score of 93. This game is a perfect reimagining of the original.
Thanks for that, Hayden. I will have to look into buying that game. Now we move on to this week's movie choice. More on that with Michael Giles.
Thanks, guys. SNL's Kenan Thompson teams up with Kel Mitchell in a 1990 comedy Good Burger. Thompson and Mitchell play Sneaky Dexter and Burger-obsessed Ed. The guys work at a burger joint together, but when corporate giant Mondo Burger sets up across the street, they realize they're going to have to fight to keep their fast food joint going. The new secret sauce might just be the answer, but not if Mondo can grab it first. This PG-13 film was based on a sketch from the Nickelodeon show All That and came out in 1997, launching Thompson's career onto the big screen and eventually leading him to his success on Saturday Night Live. The film is available for free on Tubi and also on Netflix if you have the subscription. Good Burger is also available on Google Play, Vudu, and Amazon Video for $2.99, also iTunes for $3.99. But I recommend you save the dollar and use one of the other services. All in all, I give Good Burger 4 out of 5 burgers, and I'll be back next week for another review to keep your guys' self-isolation a little more entertaining. For DETV, I'm Michael Giles.
Thanks for that, Michael. Burgers are great for lunch or dinner, but one of the most classic breakfast foods are pancakes, especially with great toppings. Bradley Downs is in the kitchen to help you make your own flapjacks at home.
Hello and welcome to my second episode of my cooking show. Today we'll be making some pancakes. Tools needed are a mixing bowl, a spatula, a whisk, and an electric skillet. Ingredients include 2/3 of a cup of water, a teaspoon of vanilla, and most importantly, 1 cup of pancake mix. And now to our first step. Take the 1 cup of flour and the 2/3 a cup of water and put it into the mixing bowl. And then after that, we'll put in the teaspoon of vanilla. Once that is all in there, we're gonna mix it all together. Be sure not to overmix. And now that we're done mixing, we'll move on to our next step. And once you're ready to cook, put your skillet to 375 degrees and put on some non-stick cooking spray. Now we can go ahead and pour some pancake mix down onto the skillet. It's a little thick. Get a spoon. Now we're going to cook these until on the top it is bubbling. There we go. Then we'll start on the second pancake over here. Didn't make too much mix because we're just making 2 pancakes. Alright, well that did not turn out well, so we're just going to have 1 very small pancake and 1 big one. Alright, this one started to bubble, so we're going to go under here, flip it. This one looks like it's ready to go. Flip, give it a little tap. Alright, seems like they're both done. There you go. And once you're done cooking, all you have to do is add some syrup. Well, there you have it. You just learned my short and simple way to make some homemade pancakes out of the box. Thank you for watching and have a great day.
That does it for today.
Remember, you can send us requests, suggestions, story ideas, and announcements to detv2012@gmail.com.
Until next time, I'm Caillou Carlos.
And I'm James Beaumont. Have a great day, Scorpions.